This person is literally not allowed to text you or. My dear child, if you believe in angels, start this video and watch it completely. Angel says this message is not accidental. You didn't stumble here by coincidence. This is divine interception. A spiritual rescue. A sacred warning. And if you truly understood what is at stake, you would drop everything else and fall to your knees in prayer. Because right now, in this moment, heaven is speaking directly to you. Not through riddles. Not through subtle signs. But clearly. Loudly. With the thunder of eternity echoing behind each word. And if your spirit is open, if your heart is trembling, then you already feel it. Something has shifted. Something is not right. This person is literally not allowed to text you or have a conversation with you because their words are weapons in disguise. Their voice has been corrupted. Their message is not theirs, it is being hijacked by darker forces. This is not a metaphor. This is not an exaggeration. This is a divine block placed by heaven itself. They have been spiritually restrained from reaching you, not because of petty emotions, but because of serious danger. There is something they carry that heaven cannot allow to be transferred to you. Their intentions are not pure, even if their tone sounds soft. Their motives are not clean, even if their message seems harmless. God says you do not know what is hiding behind their "hey." You don't see the venom tucked beneath their punctuation. Their conversation is a spiritual contagion. And you, child of light, are being shielded. This person once had access to your heart. They were allowed to speak into your life. They had influence. You trusted them, and rightly so, back then. But something has changed. Something in them shifted. And you felt it. That unexplainable feeling in your gut when they messaged you. That pause before replying. That subtle unease during your last conversation. That wasn't your imagination. That was your spirit discerning danger. And now, God is confirming what you've been sensing all along. They are no longer permitted to speak into your life because their voice has been tainted. Their conversations are coded in manipulation. They are not reaching out because they care. They are reaching out because they crave control. They are not trying to connect, they are trying to confuse. They are not checking on you, they are checking your spiritual temperature, trying to see if you're still weak enough to influence. But you've grown. You've matured. You've started aligning with your divine path. And they feel that. They sense their grip loosening. So now they're panicking. They want to regain access. They want to re-enter your life like nothing ever happened. Heaven has placed a spiritual firewall between you and them. Every message they try to send, every call they want to make, it's being intercepted in the spirit realm. Angels are standing between their devices and your energy. Because if you let them in, even for one conversation, it will delay your promise. It will infect your peace. It will contaminate the soil of your next miracle. And you cannot afford that. Not now. Not after everything you've healed from. Not after all the nights you cried, trying to make sense of why they ghosted you, hurt you, confused you, or misled you. You are just now starting to bloom. And their presence is a spiritual frost. They lost the right to contact you the moment they misused your trust. They lost the privilege of conversation when they started mixing truth with deception. They lost the divine access when they began speaking to others about you while pretending to speak to you with loyalty. God has seen the screenshots you never saw. He's heard the phone calls that never made it to your ears. He's read the group chats you were never added to. And now, he is cutting the cord. But here's what you need to understand: this disconnection is for your elevation. You may still care for them. You may still pray for them. That's okay. You're not wrong for loving them. You're not wrong for hoping they would change. But loving them doesn't mean allowing them access. Forgiving them doesn't mean opening the door again. God is not asking you to hate. He's asking you to protect your promise. And this person, whether knowingly or unknowingly, is a threat to your next level. You see, they don't even realize what they carry. They don't know the spiritual attachments they've picked up. They've entertained people with dark energy. They've aligned with jealous spirits. They've become vessels of emotional confusion, and every time they speak, that residue clings to their words. So when they message you, it's not just text, it's transfer. When they speak to you, it's not just communication, it's contamination. He's isolating you not to punish you, but to purify you. This is divine quarantine. A holy separation. Because your next chapter requires clear ears, clean hands, and undistracted focus. And this person's voice, no matter how familiar, is a distortion. It pulls you back into cycles you were delivered from. It reactivates wounds that were just starting to heal. It reopens spiritual gates that God sealed shut for a reason. And that is why He is blocking their voice. They may try to reach out soon. They may suddenly become nostalgic. You may get a message that sounds sincere. Don't fall for it. It's not them, it's the spirit behind them. That spirit is cunning. It remembers how easily you used to reply. It remembers your emotional triggers. It knows what phrases used to break your walls. But you're not that person anymore. And this time, your silence will be your weapon. Let them wonder. Let them talk. Let them sit in their confusion. They are not entitled to access just because they once had it. Grace was extended, but they mishandled it. Now, heaven has revoked their access pass. You've been wondering why you haven't heard from them. You've checked your phone more times than you'll admit. You've questioned if you did something wrong. But stop blaming yourself. This silence is not punishment, it's protection. He's protecting your energy, your peace, your growth, your promise, your legacy. And you won't see it all now, but soon you'll look back and thank Him. You'll say, God, I didn't understand it then, but thank you for not letting them message me. Thank you for blocking what I was too weak to block for myself. Because here's the truth, they don't miss you. They miss the version of you who tolerated confusion. They miss the version of you who justified their inconsistencies. They miss the version of you who didn't know how powerful you were. But that version is gone. Buried. Resurrected into someone stronger. Someone wiser. Someone who no longer confuses loyalty with self-destruction. And now, heaven is matching your spiritual maturity with divine boundaries. There's more. There's a reason their silence has felt louder than normal. It's because heaven is amplifying it. He's using this silence to speak to you. To show you the difference between peace and chaos. Between real and fake. Between alignment and attachment. And in this silence, He's healing you. He's reminding you of who you are without their influence. Without their commentary. Without their emotional manipulation. They were a voice in your life for too long. A voice that drowned out your own. A voice that made you question your worth. A voice that masqueraded as care while draining your spirit. And now, that voice has been silenced. By divine order. Because God is replacing that voice with His own. You're learning to listen again, not to them, but to Him. And His voice says you are chosen. Protected. Set apart. Destined. His voice says you don't need validation from people who don't even value their own soul. So don't wait for the text. Don't rehearse the response. Don't stalk their page. Don't decode their silence. The verdict has already been given in the courts of heaven. They are not allowed to contact you. Not because you're bitter. Not because you're petty. But because heaven has drawn the line. This is holy ground. And not everyone who walked with you in the last season is qualified to stand with you in the next. If you'd like to donate or show your appreciation, you can give a super thanks up to $100. The next time they think of texting you, heaven will send a block. The next time they try to just check on you, the Spirit will weigh them down. This isn't personal, it's prophetic. And while they wrestle with their restricted access, you must walk boldly into your assignment. Do not look back. Do not second guess. You are not being cruel. You are being called. And sometimes, your calling demands silence, solitude, and separation. You're almost there. Don't abort the mission by replying to a message he never told you to entertain. Don't derail your destiny by revisiting a conversation that's been divinely closed. If you knew what was on the other side of your obedience, you would never question this silence again. If you knew how many demons have been sent to lure you back into that toxic cycle, you'd praise God for the unanswered messages. If you could see the curses He blocked by simply keeping them away from you, you'd weep in gratitude. My child, this message is for you, a message that must reach your heart and soul with the urgency of 1,000 suns, the solemn weight of truth that cannot be denied or ignored. You may have felt confused, hurt, or unsettled by the presence of someone who, against your peace and your divine plan, keeps trying to break the boundary set by unseen hands. This person, no matter what they think or feel, is literally not allowed to text you or have a conversation with you because their presence in your life threatens the sacred space God has prepared for your growth, healing, and fulfillment. Their words carry a burden you do not have to bear. Their intentions, though hidden under layers of pretense, are not aligned with the destiny God has crafted uniquely for you. It is vital for you to understand the depth of this message. Sometimes, the most profound protection is not visible. Sometimes the strongest barrier is invisible to human eyes but impenetrable to any force that seeks to disrupt your spiritual path. This is one of those divine protections. This person, who may have once walked beside you or who insists on knocking on the doors of your heart and mind, is being kept away by a force much greater than any human will or desire. It is not by chance, nor by mere coincidence, that their attempts to reach you have been met with silence, with distance, or with a growing sense of separation. You are being shielded because your soul's journey requires clarity, peace, and an unhindered connection to the divine. The universe conspires to keep your spirit safe, and sometimes that means placing firm boundaries around you, boundaries that cannot be crossed, no matter how hard someone tries. There is a sacredness in your being that must not be disturbed, a light that must not be dimmed by energies that do not serve your highest good. Reflect deeply on what it means for someone to be not allowed in your life. It is not about judgment, punishment, or condemnation. It is about divine order. It is about the sacred law that governs the flow of relationships, the ebb and tide of human connection that must be honored for your highest evolution. There is a wisdom in this separation that you may not fully see yet, but it is working tirelessly behind the scenes to guide you toward a place of healing, freedom, and true happiness. This person may still linger in your thoughts, may still try to breach the fortress of your peace with messages, calls, or words spoken in passing. But the divine decree stands firm. Their attempts to invade your sacred space will falter because you are wrapped in a protective mantle woven by angels, by the forces of light who are committed to your well-being. You do not have to respond, you do not have to engage, and you do not owe them any explanation. Your silence, your peace, and your refusal to open the door are acts of profound self-love and divine obedience. Understand that every time you honor this boundary, you are reclaiming your power. You are affirming that your life is not a playground for confusion or emotional turmoil. You are saying yes to yourself, to your growth, and to the future that is waiting for you, a future bright with promise and free from the shadows of doubt and pain that this person's presence once cast. Your heart deserves calm, your mind deserves clarity, and your soul deserves the unbreakable peace that comes from walking in alignment with God's plan. This message is not just words, it is a sacred call to action. You are being invited to release any lingering attachments that may tie you to this person's energy. It is time to let go fully, to sever all invisible threads that bind your spirit to theirs. This release will not be easy, because human hearts are naturally drawn to connection, even when that connection is harmful or draining. But the deeper you allow yourself to surrender to this divine will, the will that says this person is not permitted to contact you, the stronger and freer you become. You may have questions. You may wonder why this person, who once seemed so important, must be kept at a distance. The truth is, not everyone who crosses your path is meant to stay. Some come to teach you lessons, to stir your soul, or to awaken your awareness. But when their role is complete, or when their presence becomes a threat to your peace, the divine intervenes with a firm hand. This intervention is a blessing, not a curse. It is a necessary part of your spiritual journey, a clearing of the old to make way for the new. In moments when you feel loneliness or doubt, remember this: your worth is not diminished by their absence. Your life is not less meaningful because their voice is silent. You are whole, radiant, and complete in yourself, sustained by a source of infinite love that nothing and no one can take away. You do not need their approval, their validation, or their presence to feel worthy. You are chosen, protected, and deeply loved by the highest power in the universe. You are being prepared for something extraordinary, a chapter of your life filled with joy, purpose, and divine favor. The walls that keep this person out are also the walls that protect your dreams and your sacred destiny. Within this space, you can flourish without fear, grow without limits, and love without conditions. Trust that every time you resist the temptation to engage, you are moving closer to the fulfillment of your soul's highest calling. This person's attempts to reach you are echoes of a past that no longer serves you. They are reminders of a story that must be closed, a chapter that must end. It is time to write a new story, one where you are the author, the hero, and the beloved. A story where you choose who enters your heart, who speaks your name, and who is allowed to walk beside you on your path. You are not alone in this sacred process. Divine beings surround you, guiding you, whispering words of encouragement, and reminding you of your power. When you feel the urge to respond or engage, listen instead to the gentle voice of your soul, urging you to hold firm. When loneliness creeps in, Call upon the love of the divine and feel that eternal embrace that fills every empty space with light. This message is a shield, a sacred decree from the heavens. It is your protection and your permission to say no, to stand firm, and to honor your peace above all else. It is a reminder that sometimes the greatest act of love you can give yourself is the act of turning away from those who are not meant to be part of your life anymore. Carry this truth in your heart: you are worthy of peace, joy, and love that honors your spirit. You are deserving of relationships that uplift you, support you, and bring you closer to your divine purpose. And if someone is not allowed to text you or speak with you, it is because the universe is lovingly clearing your path for the blessings that await. Let go of guilt, fear, or confusion. Let the peace that surpasses all understanding fill you completely. Stand tall in your power and walk boldly into the future, knowing that every divine boundary set for you is a sign of love, protection, and profound wisdom. The quiet strength you feel when you choose not to answer the call, when you do not respond to their message, is the voice of your soul saying, "I am whole without you." This strength is not a product of stubbornness but of profound spiritual awakening. It is the fruit of countless prayers whispered in the silence, the result of battles fought not with fists but with faith. Each time you resist the urge to engage, you are telling the universe that your peace is priceless, that your heart is a sacred temple not to be disturbed by anything less than pure love and respect. There is a powerful energy that flows through you, a divine current that grows stronger with every boundary you uphold. This energy shields you from confusion, from manipulation, from the subtle temptations that might lure you back into old patterns. It is a force born of faith, born of trust in the divine plan that has your name written on it in light. When the world around you feels chaotic or uncertain, this inner force remains steady, a beacon guiding you back to calm waters. Remember, too, that God's timing is perfect. While your heart may ache or your mind may question why this person is barred from your life, the divine timing ensures that everything unfolds as it should. What feels like rejection or loss is actually a blessing wrapped in mystery. The divine is clearing away what no longer serves you so that you have room to welcome what is meant for you: joy, growth, clarity, and peace. You are being lifted out of confusion into clarity, out of darkness into light. The very absence of this person is a sign that God is making space for something far greater. When you no longer have to struggle with their presence, your energy will be free to attract what is truly aligned with your highest good. You are stepping into a new realm of spiritual power where peace reigns, where love flows freely, and where your soul can breathe deeply again. Do not let memories or lingering hopes trap you in a cycle that steals your joy. Those memories, those feelings, belong to a past chapter that has closed. Honor them, yes, but do not let them dictate your present or your future. The divine is calling you forward, to a place where your spirit is honored and your heart is healed. This person's absence is a divine gift, even if it is hard to see through the fog of pain or uncertainty. You have the right to protect your heart fiercely. Protect it from words that wound, from intentions that confuse, and from energies that drain. This is not selfishness, it is sacred stewardship. Your heart is not a playground for anyone to enter at will. It is a sacred vessel, entrusted to you by the divine, meant to be guarded and cherished. There is immense power in saying no, not as rejection of the person, but as an affirmation of yourself. No, you cannot text me. No, you cannot speak to me. No, you cannot invade my peace. These words are prayers in themselves. They are declarations of divine protection, of self-love, and of unwavering faith. Feel the angels around you as you hold this boundary. Their presence is not always visible, but it is always there, a holy shield against any who would seek to disturb your soul. You are never alone in this, even if at times it feels like you walk this path in solitude. The unseen forces walk beside you, guarding your steps, whispering words of courage into your spirit. When doubt creeps in, as it often does, call upon this divine support. Pray for strength. Pray for clarity. Pray for peace.